Now it's time for something really good.
True that.
It's time for Welcome to Patchwork.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. You're with Pissy, Porter and Peon for Welcome to Patchwork's Season 2 Retrospective. 'Tis the patch where we review all that happened in our last 15 patches of Season 2. What caught the headlines? What caught the Patchworkers' attention? Who caught Nasser Hussain at square leg in the 2005 Ashes series? Yes, what a great catch that was. Last week, we gave away $1 million in our secret sound competition. Did you guess this sound? No, you didn't, because we made it bloody impossible.
Really good.
Today, we'll discuss email etiquette. We have a bumper roibos challenge, and of course, we'll discuss what you do with your previous tenant's mail. I can tell you what I do. I open those letters, commit a dash of fraud, and a teaspoon of perjury. This season, we learn about ruggers, panettone, and that Dion will never get his shoes repaired by John the Shoemaker ever again. And on the side, Josh loves chapstick and dacking, and Christian can't make good decisive choices when he needs to take a shit. But you know what it's time for now? No. It's time for three old friends to sew a final patch for Season 2 into their quilt of friendship. So join me, Peon, under the covers with Pissy.
Welcome to Patchwork.
And Porter.
Welcome to Patchwork.
Patchworkers, you might have recognised that commercial radio intro from our last retrospective. We were inspired by a commercial radio station that ripped us off. They ripped off a beloved segment, Really Good, and they turned it into, Josh, what was it called?
So great.
So great.
So great.
Yes,
Pronounced
so
so great.
Hey, Sophie, do you know what's so great?
Tell me.
So continuing the tradition, we thought we'd give you that. But Christian,
It's been a very big season. I feel like it's been much improved on Season 1. I mean, if you go back and listen to the first few episodes of Season 1, we're only finding our feet. But in Season 2, we got very hostile towards each other.
I've enjoyed the advice side of things. Like when I genuinely don't know something, it's always fun to bring in here and tease it out with you guys.
Tease it out, yeah. Or get teased.
I've enjoyed being able to take my frustrations with you both and put it on air to thousands of people.
It's interesting.
That's what I've enjoyed.
Yeah, because a lot of people go, how much do you prepare for this show? And most of the time, we formulate our opinions against each other on the spot.
Yeah.
A lot of these things we're fleshing out for the first time right now.
But it's funny, most of the time we have opposing views on things, but it works.
I can't remember agreeing with Dion this season.
Well, I had a really funny thing. I was talking to one of my friends about it, and they were saying how Dion and I are nuts, and Christian is the only reasonable one. And then this is someone else other than Andy Matthews. Yeah. And then they were saying that then Christian did something that was weird, and they went, I don't know who to believe.
Yeah, I feel like Christian is really, I feel like a lot of people have maintained their faith in Christian. Yeah. And I feel like Christian's in that position now where he really, you can't let them down.
No, I feel this surmountable pressure to be the everyman.
Oh, whatever. Listen to him popularize himself. Rubbish.
But the wall is crumbling.
Yeah.
Why is
over
it
to our side of the wall, mate? The water's warm.
Yeah. Dion, do you want to give us a short list about what some of the key happenings were from Season 2?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think we were all meaning every listener. We're all a bit bemused with Josh's rudeness towards retail staff, whether it was JB Hi-Fi but later in the season, he really came around when we visited Hungry Jack's, and we realised that we know absolutely nothing about artificial sweeteners in Cokes.
You missed a key word in that. Perceived.
Yeah.
My perceived rudeness.
No,
okay?
rudeness.
No.
Yeah.
What about your perceived willingness to eat toothpaste, Josh? That's something that we learned about Josh as well.
Mate, when you're in a pinch, down the hatch.
And with Christian, we also found out that Christian loves to pay $4,000 to see a guy he can watch on YouTube free to talk. Now, I have a shocking sense of direction, but I'm also prepared to wear lace skirts when I house paint.
So we talked about a lot of different things, and today we'll just be touching back on some of those things and bringing it all together, taking a look back and having some fresh discussions on some old ideas.
Funny you should say that, Josh. Now, before we get started, I thought one of the biggest things that has irked me over this season is the fact that people keep confusing mine and Josh's voice.
Christian, that must be so frustrating for you.
Oh, it's very frustrating, Dion. Especially considering that people think that I'm the person who thinks Coca-Cola Zero is the healthy choice for soda drinks. But also, people seem to be confusing all of us. So they go, well, was it you who doesn't think that maths should be taught in a classroom? And I go, absolutely not. No. So I think for people, just before we get started, if you don't know what we sound like or what we look like or who we are, jump over to our social media. We've got some videos. We've got trailers up there. You jump over to our Instagram and you can see some photos of Josh's underpants. It's great.
I actually had a friend who said, for the longest time, until she saw the trailer for last season, she's like, for the longest time, I thought Dion was Christian and Christian was Dion.
Oh, no.
So it was straight up seeing the face, but it's more the face that you see on the episode release.
I love how that's more defaming to Christian than it is to me. Actually, Christian, to solve this problem and to help distinguish our voices, a friend of the show contacted us with a cheat sheet. And it's basically to help our beloved patchworkers distinguish between the three of us. Christian, can you roll that tape for us?
Hello, patchworkaholics, regular alcoholics, and both. It's Triple J host and regular podcast tolerator Alex Dyson here. To celebrate the 30th episode of Welcome to Patchwork, I've been especially asked by the chaps to step in with a handy cheat sheet on how to tell their voices apart, because what better time to help people differentiate between your voices than in the 30th episode of your podcast. Now, being a graduate of Year 11 psychology, I know the best way to remember something, apart from just using your bloody brain, is to use a mnemonic device, which is a handy tool or rhyme which aids in memory recall. For example, never eat soggy Weet-Bix helps you remember north, east, south and west. Or 24 years in maximum security prison helps you remember not to murder anyone. Okay, let's go. First up, when you're listening to the podcast thinking, gosh, who is that whiny voice I hear? Stop and think. Whiny. Wine. Isn't there a Greek god of wine? There is. It's Dionysius, which helps you remember Dion, the whiniest voice of the trio. Always complaining about how people pronounce his name wrong, or that the flavour of roibos tea should be specifically designed for his palate. Dion, Dionysius, wine. Up next, how do you remember Josh Porter? Easy. Ports are where boats land. And all boats have captains, and every captain has to have a first mate. Now, Josh is always the first person to say mate in every podcast, usually at the end of a quick-fire explanation of his netball career. For example, because I'm a goal defence mate. And finally, when you hear someone talking about owning and operating their own self-storage facility for the millionth time, you get pissed off. Pissed, piss, pissasale, Christian pissasale. So there you are. Hopefully this will help you on your Welcome to Patchwork journey. I look forward to joining you on episode 60, where the boys will get me to run through another podcast essential, how to place earbuds into your own ears.
Thank you, Alex. I hope to all Patchwork listeners it's much, much clearer who we are, but thank you to Alex Dyson for putting that together for us.
Yeah, I'm sure that cleared it up really well. So as this is the retrospective, as we said, we'll be taking a look back. And for this particular piece, we're going back to patch 22, a bin's a bin's a bin, where a good friend of the show, Aaron Block, he emailed in about how he has too many unread emails. He had over 8,000 unread emails, and he asked for our advice on how to get it back to zero.
I still think that's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's a disgusting number to let your inbox get to.
Yeah.
How do you sleep comfortably knowing that there's 8,000 of something unopened?
Of something. What else do you have 8,000 of unopened,
Imagine if
mate?
you had 8,000 letters just sitting unopened.
I think I left the garage door open. Which one? No, I've got 8,000 of them.
Yeah, Christian might. So Aaron got back in touch with us.
Sorry, I just got it.
Yeah, the storage unit, mate. Well done, Dion. Yeah, he's quick to that one.
That's good.
So Aaron got back in touch with us and said that he has managed to get back to zero. Amazing. He's gone through them all.
No, he hasn't.
He has.
He selected all of them and clicked marked as red.
No, because I asked him, I was like, how did you go about getting this back? Because I thought it was an insurmountable task. My advice was just go back to the start of the year, clear everything before that and start afresh.
Yep.
But he actually went through. So he had a few stages to his process. So to begin with, he tried to search for and delete big blocks of emails like Woolworths, Qantas, frequent flyers, that kind of stuff. Then when he ran out of those, he went screen by screen. And so he'd select 50 at a time and do mark all and then unmark ones that he thought were important and then just get rid of the others.
Good tips.
Yeah. And so then he just slowly went through. My favorite thing is he said, after he got back to 0, because I was wondering, I was like, how does it feel to have that weight crushing on your shoulders? And he said, it felt terrific getting back to 0, organised, on top of my game, and in control.
But do you know what the problem is for him? Is he obviously has some organisational struggles. And moving forward, does he have a plan so that this doesn't spiral out of control again?
Well, already he's slipped back to 18, but he's had a horror week at work.
18,000 he slipped back to.
But no, I think he's going to keep on top of it.
He hasn't had a horror week at work. He hasn't unsubscribed to anything. That's the issue. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Did he find anything meaningful
So
in the emails that he deleted?
I asked him this because I was like, there's probably going to be nothing at all. He says, this is amazing. Going through 8,000 emails, I really can't say I discovered any important emails.
There you go.
So
There was some,
ridiculous.
he said that there was some I'm happy I didn't delete, like old bills and receipts for tax. There was a huge number of emails from his dad, who apparently anything, because Aaron is a doctor and he works in infectious diseases. So his dad apparently sends him anything infectious disease related, just shoots it off to
no
him.
way.
So he had heaps from that.
That's such an interesting thing, receiving emails from your parents. Sometimes if I don't reply to an email, my dad will call me up and ask me whether I got the email. He did it the other day. And the email didn't even require a response, but he wanted acknowledgement.
But that makes sense because it's saying, hey, I took the time out of my day to send you something. You can't just ignore it. It goes back to the idea of, like earlier in this season when Josh, you were saying that you really respect when someone clicks attending to a Facebook event, whereas I just ignore them. It is such an arrogant thing to ignore an email from your dad.
Yeah, it's very arrogant.
But the other thing Aaron said, you mentioned about the subscriptions, Christian. Apparently, Aaron also went on a really aggressive unsubscribe mission, but now he uses the archive function, which I suggested, but he doesn't understand what it is because he says, I have no idea where it goes, but I'm at peace with that now.
No, don't. Okay, for our listeners, please don't archive because they'll be there. One day you'll click into the archive and they'll all still be there for you.
Bonus. That's a positive thing, Christian.
Get closure. Click delete.
Christian, why do you think you've got so much authority on this?
Because what did you think?
Don't squint. Don't give me that squinty-eyed look.
What did you think when you looked at my emails, Dion?
I thought they were beautiful.
That's right.
And particularly that archive folder is gorgeous.
Because I have spent unnecessary amounts of time thinking about my email folders, and when I see anyone else's, I just want to give them tips on how to better themselves.
Well, if you want to give some more tips, Aaron has asked a follow-up question about emails. Now, when he's sending work emails, his sign-off, he's got troubles with the sign-off. He doesn't want to use cheers. It's too informal.
Yep.
He doesn't want to use regards. It's too formal. He wants to know, what can I use for work emails as a sign-off that's somewhere in the middle?
So I typically, when I started working in kind of like an office environment, I always went for kind regards because I thought that was the default, right?
Nice.
But I then received from one of our designers an email, and his templated email was warm regards.
Warm regards.
Warm regards.
Isn't that? I thought that was very, very
That's
cute.
personal.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of corporate but personal.
Is this a guy that works like 3 meters away from you as well?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Isn't that the strangest thing when
I could feel the heat from his regards.
Isn't that the
Hot regards. That's a different thing altogether.
Actually, a colleague at work addressed me like their salutation was warmest.
Warmest.
At the end, it was warmest. I mean, that's just temperature control. That means nothing.
He's describing himself in the office. I'm the warmest.
Christian,
I'm the warmest.
how do you feel about elevating the salutation when you get to know someone you've never met them before? Do you follow their cheers as the salutation? Do you ever? And does
I won't cheers. I'll never cheers.
I cheers all the time.
I'll thanks, but I'll never cheers.
I cheers to my parents once in an email. I hated it.
Cheers.
Yeah, it was just a standard. I automatically typed it in.
No.
Christian, just one thanks or many thanks?
Oh no, the single thanks. And now I've gotten to a point where I'm removing all salutations. I'll finish with something like, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Looking forward to hearing from you soon.
Yeah,
That's
interesting.
it. And then my email signature.
On the topic of emails, up the top, when you're addressing someone, how do you feel when someone addresses you like this? If I write Christian, comma, how do you feel about that?
Nah, you should say hi, Christian, or hey,
Yeah.
Christian.
Gotta
I
say
agree.
hi, Christian, or hey, Christian.
Yeah.
The worst derivation of that is if they just write C or D or J, J, comma. Fuck off.
So bad. It's a sign of age when someone starts doing that. They hit their 30s and they think they can just sign off. And
Also,
be cool.
that's not saving you any time.
Yeah, how little time do you
keystrokes.
have?
4
That's
keystrokes is not a lot. But the thing with the intros and outros, the problem I run into is when you've got a series of emails that are rapid fire going back and forth, it feels really, really dumb to every time say, "Hi, Christian, just want to get at this.
Yep.
Cheers, Josh. Thanks, Josh. Da 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 da." Like,
But that's the thing. That's right. Why do we have this weird formal kind of attitude towards emails, but real life it's so different?
one thing I did want to check with you guys, you mentioned your signature, Christian. Now, I've heard varying things. If you've got a full signature with your name and contact details, are you still meant to sign off with your name in the main body of the email or not?
Great question.
No, absolutely.
I still
What do you
do.
mean?
A friend a long time ago said, if you've got a full signature, you still do thanks, Josh.
Question, Josh. In your signature, is your name spelt Joshua?
Yeah.
Because you might... there we go. That's why you do it, because you sign off Josh, and you're being all friendly. Oh, I'm Josh to this person, but to everyone else, I'm Joshua.
No, ridiculous. It's the equivalent of writing "to whom it may concern" at the top of an email.
What's wrong with that?
It's ridiculous. It means nothing.
You never write to whom it may concern?
No, of course I don't write "to whom it may concern," because "to whom it may concern" is like what you're doing is asking the person that you're emailing to print the email off, put it on a fucking corkboard, and wait for someone to walk past and be like,
No.
"Oh yeah, this concerns me."
That's not true. The point
it
of
is.
the-
It's just useless.
That's not true. Yes, it is. Yes, that's what's happening. They go to the corkboard.
that's Josh speaking, by the way, last.
But who writes whom? Why are you speaking so differently in an email?
What are you doing writing many thanks? Who writes many? Who
I
writes
don't.
thanks? Who writes kind? Who writes regards? You never say
That's
that
right.
stuff.
Just get rid of it all.
No, Christian, to whom it may concern is if you're writing arguing a fine or something, or you're writing it into some faceless
That's
email
right.
address.
Why
It's not to an
can't-
individual.
Why can't you just write "hi" and then
Hi, team.
body?
Yeah, exactly. So hi team replaced to whom it may concern. Christian, are you saying that when maybe Christian lives in this different world where whenever he writes an email, he knows exactly who it's being written to?
Yeah, lucky you, Christian.
I know who it concerns.
But what do you do, Dion? At your signature, do
Yep.
you do sign off as Dion in the body as well?
I tell you what I do. I include in my signature my name. Up the top, my name, couple of spaces, then the signature. Never need to write it again.
That is an email signature.
It is an email signature, but my name is written
But
twice.
like it's first.
Yeah.
It's written twice.
Can I just reveal something? I don't do that, but I just made that up on the spot because I think it's a genius idea and I'm going to change it. Do you
Why?
understand the concept?
No, I don't think it's a good idea.
I think you're not understanding that it's stupid to write your name twice in an email signature.
No, that was the whole point with Josh. Josh
Yeah,
is
but
asking at the end of an email, does he sign off his name and then have the email signature below where his name is
but
written?
the signature's all like HTML formatted and like business, or your position, the address, and your contact
Yeah.
details and
Are
all
you
that.
saying you've got that in your signature?
It's one of my signatures. Not my personal one, but...
Christian, do you sign off your name at the end when your signature's underneath?
No.
Answer Josh's question.
No, sorry, I told you. I've gotten rid of all salutations. It's just got my final line, "looking forward to hearing from you," and then it goes straight into the email signature, which has my name and my position.
My one I hate the most in terms of sign-offs or emails is best.
Best.
I hate best.
What does best mean?
Just say best regards.
Yeah.
Best wishes.
It's the same as saying warmest.
Sorry, you're
warmest.
saying say best regards. What does that mean?
I don't know. I
just
don't use it.
think of it.
I pretty much exclusively use cheers and regards. Cheers with friends, regards for pretty much
How is
everything
it
else.
that with best regards, you're like, think of it, but with "to whom it may concern," you're like, yeah, this is all kosher.
No, so what do you think that what should replace to whom it may concern when you don't know who you're writing to?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
But that's not
Whoever's reading it is reading it.
Hello? But it sounds pathetic as well. There's no formality
Sounds
to it.
pathetic.
Hello?
I still think, guys, we need to give Aaron some advice. What is this middle ground between regards and cheers?
Thanks.
Thanks. Thanks is pretty good. Looking forward to your response, Josh. I use that a bit.
Yeah.
Looking
yeah.
forward to hearing from
and
you.
I'm happy with that to be the last thing that people read. Because it
From
also...
you ever. Yeah. Horribly died of plain accident. Well, that's the last thing they read of me. My email sign off.
He's still looking forward to hearing from me.
I do like that sign off, Josh. I reckon that's the winner. I reckon Aaron can. That's the advice we can give to Aaron.
Yeah.
Looking forward to hearing from you because that promotes that action as well.
Yeah. And so, Aaron, if you're hearing this, we're looking forward to hearing from you in regards to what you think of this advice.
Many thanks.
Back in patch 25, Curry No Hurry, I revealed to you two that I had my brand new Pixel 2 XL. What a great surprise that was, wasn't it? What a moment.
Shocking.
What a moment. Now, in that patch, I mentioned I was going to have a roibos challenge coming up where I'd attempted to get some stuff
yes.
from Google. Yes, for my old phone. Now, the roibos challenge actually originates back in patch number 9, Lovely Leathery Juice. And Dion, as the arbiter of the roibos challenge, would you like to just run us through what it is?
Yes, so back in patch 9, I visited an Italian restaurant with my girlfriend, ordered a roibos tea flavored drink, tasted awful, proceeded to try and return it to the restaurateur. He would have none of it. I contacted Emma and Tom's. None other than Tom got back to me and said that he was disappointed that my palate
I think he was disappointed that you ordered a roibos tea in an Italian restaurant.
and ended up sending me a whole bunch of free Emma and Tom's gear. So the roibos challenge is about challenging companies and ultimately getting something for free and gaining that leverage over the company.
It's about justice.
It's about justice. Justice was served.
Yes.
Let's see if justice was served today with Google and Josh.
Yes, let's check that out. So, Christian, if you just play the theme song, please.
And we'll never buy roibos. Don't know if it's just me. It's got nothing to do with tea. We just want everything for free.
Now, I've been a long-time fan of Google. I'm a heavy Gmail user. I love Calendar, love Google Keep. I love everything. So imagine my delight when they entered the smartphone race in 2012 with their Nexus line of budget phones with better than average specs. It's a far cry from their now very expensive and top-spec premium Pixel offering. Now, I owned a Nexus 4, which was the first one, and my next phone after that was the Nexus 5X, which I bought in January 2016.
Early adopter, Josh.
I was there.
So that was 2.5 years ago you bought that phone.
Yes. Now, and I love this phone. I use it every day. Every single day for the past 2 years. It's been my daily driver, as some people put it. It was great, but there also did have a lot of issues with it. There was the occasional random reboot. The battery was also notorious for getting very, very, very warm, as Google put it. Refused to use the word hot. It was warm. So I got a refurbished replacement phone after 1 year in January of 2017. That was fine. And then 12 months after that, which is earlier this year in February, it booted up for the last time, sadly.
Did it say that as it was booting up?
I'm sorry.
I love it.
This will be my last time.
I love how you've twisted that sentence. I would say it shut down for the last time, but you kind of say it came to life for the last time.
Yeah, because I obviously the time before, because I was trying to get it to turn on again and it just didn't. I was like, it's turned on for the last time.
Anyway.
No, that's
Yeah,
not
you're
the
probably
correct
probably
way.
right.
It turned on for the last time.
Yeah.
Jeez, I hope this roibos is better than Josh's illustration.
It's like the Terminator. Now, after using the phone for the last 2 years, I figured it was time to get a replacement. So I thought, I'll go to Google and I'll try to squeeze them for everything they're worth. Now, I did this all via live chat, which I've actually kept all the logs for.
Sorry, Josh, what are Google worth?
This will be great.
Everything they're worth.
I know what's going to happen. Josh is going to end up getting a share in Google.
Yeah, just one. It's worth like $50,000. Now, the chat logs, there were 30 pages of chat logs I had for this, but I've drastically reduced that down to something more manageable. So I'm here to present to you my Google Nexus 5X roibos challenge. So I've got this script here. I'm just going to pass this to Christian.
While you're doing that, Josh, as listeners would know, in the roibos challenge, the roibos challenger is awarded some leaves at the end out of 10. So that's really what this is about. It's not about the journey. It's about the score at the end.
It is. Now, I'll be playing myself, and I'll get Christian to play all the Google operators that I faced along the way. And Dion, as the arbiter of the roibos challenge, he'll be critiquing my attempts to get free shit from Google. All right, so here we go.
Thanks for contacting Google support. My name is Nick. I'm really sorry to hear about the battery issues you're facing with your Nexus 5X device. I can understand the importance of a device in this generation, as it is the main source of communication.
So we proceed to run through the issues that
The daily driver.
Yeah, it is. It is. So we proceeded to run through the issues that I'd been having with the phone.
Thank you for helping me with that, Joshua. I will be glad to help you with a replacement.
This will be my third Nexus 5X. Very disappointing. I'm a big fan of Google, but the shortcuts taken with the 5X have been incredibly inconvenient.
I know how it feels to carry a device that troubles often.
Is there any way you could upgrade my device and send me something more reliable? I'm not convinced another 5X will be any better.
So that's an excellent start, Josh, or should I call you Joshua? Not explicitly stating what he wants, but intimating a mere replacement. It's very clever. This move in the roibos challenge is called casting doubt.
I completely understand, Joshua. I know it's not been a good journey with Nexus 5X. However, let me try to help you with a desirable resolution. I will surely try to help you with a different device as a replacement.
So then Nick goes and checks with a specialist.
I'm extremely sorry that this is taking a bit longer than expected. Please bear with me for next 5 minutes. For Nexus 5 minutes.
That's okay. I trust you, Nick. I really like the products Google offers, but I don't know if I'd buy another one of your phones after the experience I've had.
It's just this image of Josh and Nick holding hands now.
So then he goes off again and checks with his specialist once again.
Joshua, after checking with my specialist, it looks like we can replace the device with another Nexus device instead of replacing with a different one as per your request.
I just like the idea of him checking with his ear, nose, and throat specialist.
So you can't replace it with a different device?
I'm sorry to say that, Joshua. However, as we have no other devices available.
Google has no other devices available.
You've stumped us, Joshua. However, as we have no other devices available as a replacement currently, I've requested him to help you with a refund.
And how much money would I be refunded?
Joshua, trust me.
Nick, he's a trustworthy bloke, Nick, isn't he?
Joshua, trust me. I'm trying to help you with a desirable resolution.
I do trust you, Nick. So what are my options if I don't want a refund? So now I try and go in for a bit of an upsell, try and get the Pixel, a much more expensive phone as a replacement.
I understand Josh explaining that to the listeners. Obviously, I understand full well what Josh is doing.
So there's no way you could help me out with getting a discounted replacement Pixel, which you said has not had the same issues as the 5X. As you can see from my purchase history, I've been a very loyal Google customer since the Nexus 4.
Yes, very good, Josh. So obviously loyalty is very important in these situations. Businesses don't like losing customers, even if it is a behemoth like Google. This move is called the loyal pitch.
Can I also add, Dion, I think there's a little bit of planting the seed here as well.
Yeah, I've dropped the name of Pixel.
Pixel, it's the first
sprinkle it in.
time.
Christian, stick to your day job.
I totally agree with you, Joshua. I will not miss out on any possible chance that can help me provide you with a possible resolution. However, hope you understand my limitations too. We are privileged to have a customer like you who's been with us since long time.
Yes. I do understand, Nick. You've been very helpful and I do believe you are trying your best. I'm just looking for the best outcome and I believe you're the man to give it to me.
That is excellent, Josh.
Really good.
That is very good.
Let's hope for the best, Joshua. I'm quite positive you'll be provided with a favourable solution.
So I was meant to receive an email within 24 hours, which would have my refund quote telling me how much I was entitled to. This never came. 5 days went past. So I got back on live chat and I started chatting with David. I explained to him how frustrated I was in the hopes of getting something else from him. So here's David.
I have been going through the account. I see that the previous agent is still working on the account.
I did like Nick and the service he was providing, but have been disappointed with the lack of communication.
Yes, I agree that he should have kept you posted. I am with you on this.
Yeah, this is called turning on your colleagues.
I'm glad you're with me, David. We're in this together.
Bonnie and Clyde. Yes, we are in this together. What I am doing is I am taking over this case from him. Is that all right with you?
If you can provide me with an excellent outcome, then I'm happy for you to transfer the case. It's incredibly inconvenient being without my phone. Google has normally been so good and quick with their service.
There are a few cases where we need multiple approvals. That is where it takes time.
So this is always a very, very good moment. It's always important to escalate the issue as quickly as possible with someone who has that escalation power. As you would have guessed, this move is called the escalation.
Not the escalator.
That's what they call me when I'm on live chat. Oh no, it's the escalator. So David goes off and checks with his manager.
Now, I had a discussion with my manager. And since we are no longer manufacturing the device, we are applying the refund on the account.
I was waiting to hear how much the refund
is.
was going to be.
we go.
You will get a full refund!
Thank you so much.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
When I said very good, I meant good.
Hang on. David has also left a smiley emoticon.
Very good then.
David's very happy with that for me.
He's provided the right solution.
Yes. Fantastic. Full refund of 559 Australian dollars.
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. Please process that. Wonderful news, David. My trust in you was well placed.
My pleasure.
Thanks, David. And please send my thanks to Nick as well, as I trust that he was held up by his manager.
Yes, that was the case, actually. I will tell Nick. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No. As wonderful as it's been chatting with you, hopefully this all goes as planned and I won't need to speak with you ever again. Thanks, Dave. Can I call you Dave? Have a great day.
Yes, you can. Thanks for contacting Google. Have a wonderful day.
Goodbye.
Yes.
Well done, Josh.
Well done, Josh.
Thank you. How good's that? Full
That
refund
is
for a phone
unbelievable.
I'd been
Yeah,
using for
2
2 full years.
That is an absurd resolution, Josh. That's
Fantastic.
like wearing a pair of pants for 2 years and then saying, nah, they didn't work for me. Give me my money back.
Google pants.
Google pants. Hello, pants.
Now, the best possible result in this situation would have been you to get a replacement new Google phone. You got a full refund on the old Google phone. Excellent effort. I agree. It was how old? 2 years old?
2 years.
2 years
I'd
old.
been using
Free
it
phone.
every day for 2 years since January 2016, and I got a full refund for
2
it.
years old. I reckon that's pretty good, Josh.
Yeah.
I don't think it quite reaches the heights that we're looking for in the Roibos challenge. I think that if you were to get her, because you had to buy another phone with that money, and presumably that phone cost you more money.
Yeah.
I would have been looking in these situations for you not to be out of pocket at all.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I literally had a free phone for 2 years because of this.
No, you didn't, because the Pixel. How much does the Pixel cost? What's the
More than
recommended
that.
retail? Much more.
Yeah.
Much more.
So and it's a brand new phone, mate.
Yeah, but you're still out of pocket. A fair way.
Insatiable. Dion is insatiable with
Yeah.
the Roibos.
Yeah, you can't unseat me though, Josh, can you? Josh, it's now time for me to appraise your Roibos challenge. I think that the most pleasing aspect of this Roibos challenge was that you have been obviously inspired with some of the skills that I've imparted on you.
I feel you taught me a lot, Dion.
Yeah, I feel like I have as well.
Buttering him up.
Josh, for this Roibos challenge, you have unseated Trent, our car expert,
Unseated.
9.4.
Are you?
Roibos
You're
sleeves.
giving Josh 9. Trent got a new fucking car.
Yeah, but Trent didn't. It doesn't sound like Trent didn't have to.
Trent didn't use the car for 2 years and then get a new one.
Yeah, that's right. And also, it doesn't sound like he went through the hassle that Josh went through.
Okay, so part of the Roibos scoring system is
Flawed.
what I'm saying is part of that scoring system is you're saying the troubles that people have had to go through to get the outcome.
It's taking all factors into account, Christian.
course,
It's
sorry.
not just the cost. It's the determination. It's the follow up. I would have liked Josh to follow up for a Pixel 2, but Josh is actually the winner of the Roibos Challenge for Season 2. Congratulations, Josh.
Yes. Thank you.
Wow, in the retrospective as well. How convenient. And now it's time for Oh Meow of the Week.
Oh, meow.
Oh, meow.
Oh Meow. A cat purrs at the same frequency as an idling diesel engine at about 26 cycles per second. Oh Meow.
Oh, meow.
Oh, meow.
meow.
Casting our minds back to patch number 16, Unfit for Human Habitation, I regaled us with stories of my old share house. I still live in a share house, and recently I got some mail from an old housemate who doesn't live there. I never knew, wasn't there in my time. It was from the Australian Red Cross, and it was a letter. I was like, okay, cool. Well,
So you didn't know the name?
No, I didn't know. I didn't recognize the name. So I was like, cool, I don't know this person, but I've got their name. So I called up the Red Cross and I said, hey, I've got this mail. I don't know their new address. I'm just letting you guys know that the address has changed and that person no longer lives at this address. And the person on the phone was like, oh, can you send it back to us?
Oh,
I was like, well, no. I was like, no. And she's like, well, can't you just like pop it in a letter and just send it back to us and run it? I was like, no, I'm telling you right now that this person doesn't live here. Look it up in your system and change the address. Send them an email.
That is the end of your responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, that you went beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing you a favor. I'm trying to save the planet and stop unwanted mail going out. But she was like, okay, cool. Looked it up on a computer. About 35 seconds. Looked it up. Oh, cool. Well, send her an email about that. I'm like, yeah, just do that.
There'd obviously be a single place with that person's name and an address field beneath.
Exactly.
Christian, does it annoy you when you get previous people's mail when they haven't redirected it or when they haven't gone to the effort of redirecting their mail?
To be honest, most of the time, it doesn't annoy me because the way I handle it is a lot less courteous than Josh.
A bit more hands off, are you, Christian?
Yeah, a lot more hands off. In fact,
Bit more hands to bin.
No, I will keep it for a number of months in a drawer somewhere.
Really? That's helpful.
But I'm not going to act on it. No way I won't act on it. And I feel like maybe a part of it is because I know that it is important to people, but I don't want to go to the effort of calling all these companies because that's one step too far for me. I feel like the onus is on the person who's left the house. But really strangely, when I moved into my place in Brunswick, so the place before I'm currently in, we were still getting quite a lot of, because the old tenants were evicted. Yeah, for making too much noise.
You should get me to tell them to shut the fuck up.
They mustn't have had time to redirect their mail or something, so we were getting quite a lot. And even to the point that we're getting orders, like, you know, how pick up your order, go down to the post office box or whatever.
That's next level shit, by the way. When you get one of those little, like those parcel
So we were just
slips.
We were keeping them to the side in a drawer. And one day, all three of us were just sitting in our lounge room, and all of a sudden, the front door, we heard a set of keys go in, and the front door to our place opened.
It was the locksmith from Curry No Hurry.
But we all looked around at each other and were like, 1, 2, 3, we're all here. And someone walked in and was like, oh, hey, it was this South American guy. He's like, just here, thought I'd pick up my mail. I'm like, nah, mate, you can't break in.
He still has keys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still had his keys.
And your landlord didn't change the locks.
Nope. Just broke into our place to collect his mail. So we literally handed his mail over to him in our lounge room.
That's so weird.
That's bizarre.
Now, why did you give it to him? I would have been like, no, you know what? Get out of my house.
If he's willing to break into our house, if we don't, what's going to happen if we don't give him
What's
his
the
mail?
next crime he's going to commit?
Okay, a normal human being knocks on the door. Goes, hello, I used to live here. What was he going to do? Walk into the house? If you weren't there, he would just gone in and rifled through your stuff looking for his mail.
I'd love if we found out now that in South America, they don't have locks or the concept of locks or keys. Actually, Christian, I'm surprised at myself at how ethical I am in these situations. What I do is probably for the first month, I'll have a felt tip pen sitting next, like on the counter at home, and I'll cross out their address and I'll write no longer at this address and I'll post it.
Yeah.
And I think it's almost goes back to Aaron, Josh, your friend, who gets his email back down to 0. I think it would be incredibly satisfying if you got to the point where you received no previous tenant's mail. How amazing would that be?
So do you put return to sender?
I just say, no longer lives at this address, change address.
And then you just put that in the thing. Because I have no idea how return to sender works. I know the song by Elvis.
Hang on, you don't know how it works. There's a return. There's a return to sender address on the back.
And you just put it back in the mailbox.
Correct, and then they'll return it to sender.
That's it.
That's it, Josh.
You just explained it. Thank you.
Dion, I agree. It would be this world of bliss if you didn't get any ex-housemates or ex-tenant their mail, but companies send so much shit in the mail. I give like $10 a month to Animals Australia, and
Is that all?
and I bought things from Oxfam in the past to support. It's unbelievable how much they send me in the mail.
Yeah, it's because they got to retain you.
Yes, but send me an email.
Yeah, email's fine.
That's
Send
so
me
true.
everything by email. I
That's
don't
so
want
true.
physical. What do I need? why do we need physical mail anymore? Apart from like a shopping order, something that we've asked to be sent in the mail.
That's such an obvious point that Christian's making then. Why do we need physical mail apart from a parcel that we've all ordered which contains a good that we've paid for?
Why not just follow on with the point instead of worrying about what I said? Why do you have to pull up everything?
But you know how I avoid this issue completely? Pretty much. All of anything important, I always just put my parents' address.
Oh, come on, Josh. Grow up.
No, it's great because I don't know how long I'm going to be living at whatever place I'm living at. I never have to worry about redirection.
I agree with Christian. Grow up. That's ridiculous.
Why?
Because it's what people do.
You're just espousing the fact of I don't get that much mail, mate. It's like Vic Roads every 4 years or something sends me something.
Update your address.
No, don't need to worry about it. Mum and Dad just go, hey Josh, Vic Roads is here for you. Cool, I'll get it when I next see you.
Thanks, Mum and Dad.
Yep.
And here's your lunchbox, Josh. But don't you guys agree that receiving physical mail now is pointless? Like, honestly, when you receive a letter from the police, let's say, you get a fine, would it not have the same impact getting that in an email? Like, why do you think it has so much importance to receive it physically?
Because you have to go and unlock your letterbox or wherever you live, and you got to take it out, and it's something physical. I don't know if it does. I just think it's these companies just not iterating their processes.
It's because there's a physical thing. You can just put a fridge magnet on the fridge with it, and you always see it, like your bills.
Have you ever used one of those fridge magnets?
One of those.
Yeah. One of those.
There's literally hundreds of variations.
No, when you get one for
hundreds. That's it. No more variations of
999.
But have you ever gone like, oh, there's that phone number of that vet that's nearby. Yeah. How are we going to find the phone number?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go to the fridge.
You mean branded fridge magnets?
Yeah, branded fridge magnets. Or what about the calendar ones? Have you ever looked at a calendar? They are useless. They are absolutely useless.
What? The calendar fridge magnets?
Yeah. Why? You like them?
No. But they're for a particular audience. They're not for you. There are people that spend more time in a kitchen cleaning their kitchen than when they're cleaning the surfaces. They look across, they see, oh, that's right. It's this weekend.
Justifying calendar magnets here.
What about when a local member sends you like a magnet or like a thing saying vote for me? They're my most hated things. They go straight in the bin. I don't open them.
Pretty much every opportunity when I get mail from things that I actually like, I go, hey, you don't need to send me mail anymore. Like the Red Cross, I was like, hey, this is me personally. They were sending me stuff of like, hey, reminder, your next donation's due. I was like, it's fine. I rang them up. I was like, hey, can you just take me off the mailing list? I don't need it. I'm more than happy to keep donating. I don't need the physical thing.
I love how you are prepared to call these places up and potentially be put on hold for like 10 minutes just to say to them, don't send me mail anymore.
It's easy. I just put my phone there and it wasn't a hold for that long. I find doing the phone call is way quicker than trying to mail or email stuff in.
But seriously, like even the idea of like a wedding invite, like why does that have to be sent? Surely just a Google Calendar invite is fine.
Imagine that, mate.
Just a Google Cal invite.
Yeah, we'll spend $40,000 on the wedding, but only send it by email.
Yeah.
No, I kind of agree with Christian. Like the other thing is that what are you going to do with that wedding invite after you've looked at it? Like
it's
put it on the fridge, use the magnet.
Yeah, no, there's heaps of those in our house all the time.
Really?
They're like, oh, those two are getting married. Don't know who they are.
But why do you need that reminder? Christian's point is you're going to put it in your Google.
It's a nice thing.
Yeah,
It's a thing you've put time and effort into writing your name in calligraphy to send to your friends.
But put time and effort into the email that you're writing. Use paperless post. That's such a great... Have you ever got an invitation through the website Paperless Post? It's beautiful. You open it up, it immediately alerts the people that you're attending. It's awesome.
To be honest, every time I get one of those, I don't even look at the email. I just scroll down to where it says Google Calendar and I'll just click that and say, okay, it's in there now. I don't care.
Well, I had a friend's wedding recently, Nick and Soph, and they didn't use traditional invites. It was just an email. Like, this is completely fine. I know when the date is. I know when it is.
Yeah.
I'm very fine with this.
It would be so much easier if receiving like spam letters from like Oxfam and the Red Cross, if it was like an SMS and you could just write stop. on a letter and mail it back to them and that's it.
Yeah.
Equally as effective.
It's ultimately, it adds to your junk mail. That should be regarded as junk mail.
They'll start putting letters, there was no one manning this mailbox. Do not reply.
What about when you open up your letterbox, you see an envelope in there, it's addressed to a previous tenant, to someone you don't know, but you feel the envelope and it feels like there's a plastic card in there. Could be a credit card, could be a loyalty card. What do you do with it? Josh?
That's a pretty big return to sender for me. I wouldn't presume to open it. I probably would rather not know what it is. I wouldn't want to know what power I wield over this person.
Really?
Whether I get one free coffee. Or I get a $3,000 limit. I don't know.
Yeah, spending spree.
Yeah, I would, as best I can, return to sender. So if it's from a company, just try and get it back to that company.
I think so as well, yeah. But if I'm going to be honest, and I think this is the forum to be honest, I'm not doing anything with that. I'm
chucking it out?
I'm putting it in the bin.
Yeah, and they just have to go, I never got the thing. Like, yeah.
Well, it's if you're ordering a credit card or a Visa debit card or something like that, check that you put the right address, you idiot.
No, that's reasonable that someone doesn't change all of their cards. People have all these cards nowadays.
That's true.
See,
No,
you
that
know
is
what? You know what
true.
solves that problem? Putting your folks' address on everything.
Yeah.
No issue there, is it?
Well, Christian, you and I should put Josh's folks' address on there. Even though they moved recently.
I know, and I had to change a few things. It was hell.
So it doesn't work.
30 years in that one house. I was like, got to change a few things.
So your system breaks down if your parents are nomadic.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
If your parents move as much as you do in your 20s and 30s.
Also, if they're literal nomads, Bedouins in the Middle East, I feel like the system breaks down anyway.
Really, really good. You know what's really, really good? Really, really good. You know what's really, really good?
Every now and again, we like to do a different take on Really Good. And our favourite this season was Surreally Good, which we take a bizarre twist or a bizarre look, something a bit more surreal with Really Good. So, you know what's surreally good? When your Uber driver turns green just as you finish your meal. Surreally good.
Surreally good.
Really good.
Do you know what's surreally good? When a glass of champagne takes a long walk on the beach only to find that there's a piece of bread begging for forgiveness.
Surreally good.
Really
good.
You know what's really good? Moving your clock backwards for daylight savings and hearing a satanic message.
Surreally good. Surreally good. You know what's surreally good? When you're washing your potato chips and they get you into the club for free. Surreally good. Surreally good.
Do you know what's surreally good? Taking a dog out for a walk and then the instant the water boils, you build a bridge and put it on the lowest heat setting.
Surreally good.
Really good.
Surreally good.
And you know what's really good? Spreading a little aloe vera on your burnt toast.
Ah, surreally good. Surreally, really good.
You know what's
Thank you for listening to part 1 of our retrospective for season 2. Part 2 will appear in 2 weeks' time. For the moment, in the lead up, we will be posting refresher clips on our social media. So head over to our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and also on Twitter.
And Dion, don't forget, we've got a Patreon page.
Christian, I didn't forget. They're very, very important to us, our
They
Patreons.
are very important to us. They went to patreon.com/welcome to patchwork, and they are actively supporting our podcast. They're donating a monthly contribution, which really helps us grow.
And they're getting
it's-
a few little extras as well.
Correct. They're going to be embarrassed by having their name read out. So a very, very, very big thank you to Daniel, Caitlin, Crystal, Amanda, Andrew, Chris, Julia, Daniel, Carmen, Andrew. They've all got the same name. Andrew, Daniel, Christian, Carmen, Andrew, Junna, Becca, Sally, Alistair, Mark, Sally, Brett. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you so much. Josh, for this special retrospective patch, what did you sew into your patch this week?
My patch this week, Dion, was simply the words, hot regards. Dion, what was your patch this week?
My patch this week is an image of Christian house sitting at Josh's parents' house, receiving a surprise package in the mail from Google and throwing it straight in the bin. And Christian, what did you sew into your patch this week?
Dion, this week I sewed into my patch the final patch for season 2, which reads, "To whom it may concern, looking forward to hearing from you soon. Warm regards, Christian, Dion, and Josh."
Ah, very nice, Christian. Thank you for listening to part 1 of our retrospective. Join us in 2 weeks for the second part. So thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork this week. I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Hi, I'm Cody, Telstra's virtual assistant. I'm here to answer your Telstra mobile questions. To get started, ask me a question. If I can't help, I'll transfer you to someone who can.
Hi, I just ported into Telstra and signed up for the $59 plan with the Pixel 2 XL and heard there was 5 gig of bonus data I was entitled to.
I'm still in training. In a few words, please rephrase your question.
Give me 5 gig bonus data.